Lockdown football was crazy. Unless you're living under a rock, it's kind of obvious that a certain virus stopped the whole world from operating. And even in the football world, with a lot of presidents from each country sanctioning a lockdown for 2 weeks to avoid a lot of people getting the virus. I remember back in March 2020 watching Manchester United play Man City at Old Trafford with Anthony Martial and Scott McTominay scoring an absolute screamer to win the game 2-0. That of course left us 3 points off the top 4 with Chelsea just ahead of us. And of course at the time I was really happy we just beat City and obviously we're getting closer to the top 4. So obviously at the time I'm thinking our next game we have to take this momentum and try beat the next team. I think at the time it was Everton. Who would have thought our next game would be in 4 months?
Although of course they thought it was offside.
Okay, what?
And well, there we were. All the staff, managers and football players were at home just like us, with no football to watch, let alone football to play. So how did the rest of lockdown just pan out? Well, that's what we're here to discuss, but before we get in with the video, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and like this video so we can get on with the video. If we're being honest, we had a lot of free time at home. I think maybe even too much time. TV kept repeating the same classic games, like even the one where Rooney scored his bicycle kick against Man City, or the 2-2 draw in the El Clasico with both Messi and Ronaldo scoring their braces. Also on TV, there was this Premier League quiz that would play, I think, every week, hosted by James Ellicott. I think you should subscribe to his channel, by the way. He's a small YouTuber. And also speaking about a channel, that's when this channel was created. But basically us, we were just really entertained. But what were the football players doing at the time? Because usually they're the guys playing games or flying to other stadiums and all that, and they're actually at home. So what are these guys actually getting up to? Well, that's where we enter Lewandowski. Drop! While every other footballer was training or keeping themselves fit, we had Lewandowski finding out what TikTok was. We had Douglas Costa was dazzling on the pitch for Juventus, and I didn't even know he was this dazzling on TikTok also. This Messi video, enough said. We had Neymar realizing that, hey, maybe his kid won't take football up seriously. And who could forget about Alphonso Davies during these times? And who could forget about Sergio Aguero's live streams playing FIFA? Yeah, iconic, man. While seeing all the footballers have some sort of personality was fun, I think the real fun started when we got everything back. After a long time, we finally got football back. Bundesliga announced that they were the first league to return after the COVID-19 suspension, and the league was going to resume, and the first game back was going to be Borussia Dortmund going up against Schalke. But of course, it was going to be a little bit different. No fans were going to be in the stadium, it's just going to be completely empty. Kaizer Chiefs fans would be used to this because this is them every game. But yes, the stadium was limited to only 215 people, including players, staff and journalists. And from there onwards, everyone just got used to the new normal. The Premier League as well as other leagues around the world returned, with Liverpool winning their first ever league title in 30 years. Real Madrid also managed to win the league for the first time since 2017, finishing above Barcelona in this one. And Ronaldo helped Juventus win the league with a 11-point gap to make it their 9th league title in a row. And also eventually the Champions League returned. This time each knockout stage game would be one leg, and from that knockout stage we saw murders, which we'll get to at some point, a lot of big misses, but eventually a Champions League winner, with Bayern Munich winning their 6th ever Champions League trophy. And of course in that year they also won 6 trophies in that whole year, winning the sextuple. It was really crazy watching games and seeing no one in the stands, it's just empty, and we heard a lot of things coming from the players.
The move there, the teenager.
While talking about the football, we have to talk about the best players during the lockdown season. Who better to start with Anthony Martial? The first season was already incredible from him, but he managed to take it to another level. Blending his ability to drop down deep and link up play, he doubled down on his goal scoring ability, getting 17 goals in the 1920 Premier League season. He also managed to score Manchester United's first Premier League hat-trick since 2014, scored by Robin van Persie. That was already incredible from Martial, but another player who played for Manchester United is Jesse Lingard. After not getting enough game time under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he decided to go out on loan to West Ham United. And from there he was just oozing class, getting 14 GA in total and helping West Ham finish 6th in the Premier League and qualifying for the Europa League. We finally managed to see Jesse Lingard at his best, but another player that we finally got to see at their best once again was Gareth Bale. I think we all know that Gareth Bale fell out with a lot of people at Real Madrid, especially the fans. Of course, he needed to get his career back up. And the one place that allowed him to get his career back up was Tottenham Hotspurs. He decided to return to his former club and play his best football that he's played in about 2 years. He managed to get 19 GA in total for Tottenham that season and also scoring a hat-trick in the Europa League. He managed to form a very solid front three with Kane and Son, being one of the deadliest trios in the league. But one player who managed to carry his team throughout the whole season was Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. In his third season at the Emirates, he was named captain of the Arsenal team, and of course he led by example, getting 29 goals and 3 assists throughout the whole season, and also led Arsenal to an FA Cup triumph, scoring 2 goals in the semi-final against Manchester City and scoring in the final twice again against Chelsea. Unfortunately, he finished 8th in the league, but we will also speak about that later. But one player who played in that FA Cup final for the opposite team took over the football world by storm. His name is Christian Pulisic. He was of course incredible in this season. He was of course incredible and instrumental to Chelsea in this season, getting 11 goals and 10 assists for Chelsea in this season. He managed to get 7 goal contributions in his last 9 Premier League games and scored in the FA Cup final, but unfortunately got injured. This was Christian Pulisic at his best since his Dortmund days, and unfortunately after he got injured it didn't really work out well for him. But I don't think I'm giving Lockdown Football its justice without talking about the scary scorelines that came from this game, and the first one that already comes to my head was the 9-0 from Manchester United against Southampton. I think one of the worst player performances I've seen was from Jan Bednarek, who in this game where he conceded 7 goals, managed to get a red card and score an own goal in that same game. I can't remember who it was, but if you're watching this, I remember you had this guy in your FPL. Bayern 8, Barcelona 2. Yes, I watched this game and yes, I'm still traumatized. I still don't know what happened to Barca in this game, but of course we got sacrificed in this one. Even Felipe Coutinho, who was on loan from Barca, scored a brace against them, which adds insult to injury. I don't think we can forget Davies absolutely destroying Nelson Semedo to get an assist for Kimmich. But the craziest day in terms of score lines was on the 4th of October 2020, my birth month, where I saw Manchester United absolutely get murdered by Spurs 6-1. Well, obviously we scored first through a Bruno Fernandes penalty, but it was just bad from there. I saw Maguire and Shaw playing against us and it was just a bad day on that day. And of course we had a lot of Liverpool fans laughing at us on that day, but at the end of the day it got back at them.
7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7.
Ollie Watkins scored a hat-trick, Jack Grealish scoring a brace, and Mo Salah on the other side scoring a brace, but already 7-2 is just a crazy scoreline, as well as the 6-1 against Spurs was a crazy scoreline, and this was one of the craziest days in Premier League history. Without Arsenal 2020, we probably wouldn't see Messi lift the World Cup just because of the shenanigans that went on at Arsenal. Of course, Neil Maupay injuring Bert Leno, and you know the whole butterfly effect thing happening, leading to Messi winning the World Cup obviously. But that whole day had AFTV beefing with Brighton fans and Neil Maupay the whole time.
Thank you to Natures. Mopa, you are an absolute disgrace. You're a cheat. I hope Brighton get relegated. You are a cheat. You're a disgrace. I hope Brighton get relegated.
Even though we had Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang at his best, we still had him and Lacazette giving us memorable moments together. We also saw some creative celebrations coming from the Arsenal squad, like these guys were just vibey, man. Then of course we had the Kieran Trippier slip, still gets me to this day. Hey, and then of course we have AFTV to end it off. I don't even think I have to speak here.
We're losing! Get up! Tell him, suck your mother! Tell him, suck your mother! Tell him, suck your mother! Suck your mother!
So we've made it to the end of the video. I have one question for you. Who was your favorite player during the lockdown season? And what was your favorite moment during the season too? Of course, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. And yeah, for me, it's been 1010 Alpha. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.